Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Today I am talking double embossing. Yes, we all like a bit of embossing, and I've been spending loads of time talking this month about embossing folders, but we do need to talk about the heat embossing. So we've been doing a bit of that this month, and I thought I would just do a little bit more because you can never get too much of heat embossing. It's just one of my all-time favourite techniques. So if you don't know what heat embossing is, you're in the right place. I'm going to show you. And if you don't know what dry embossing is, you're in the right place because I'm going to show you that too. Okay, so this card is cased from one that's in the catalogue. It's actually in the Sale-a-bration brochure, rather, not the catalogue. That's because this lovely lady and the sentiment and this beautiful embossing folder are both free in Sale-a-bration this year. So in the 2020 Sale-a-bration brochure, you can get a bundle, which I don't think they've done a bundle before. Well, they might have done, but this is a whopper. So for this one, you get the stamp set and the embossing folder combined. The stamp set's called The Power of Hope, and it's Japanese based. Obviously, I think it's just a gorgeous set, really inspired. Little bonsai tree, pagoda, nice lovely lady with her kimono. A little Chinese lantern or Japanese lantern. Maybe it's Chinese. I don't know. I always think of Japanese when I see this. I don't know why. Maybe I'm wrong. Somebody I'm sure out there will tell me. Anyway, good luck. Today is a day for new beginnings. That's a lovely saying, isn't it? And hope is the power that makes all things possible. So true. This is like my sentiment for this year. And then it comes with, not only do you get the stamp set, but you also get the embossing folder. And this is the stone embossing folder. So that's a fab set. And you need just an order of £90 gets you that for free. So you do your £90, you get your ordinary £90 worth of stuff, which is fantastic. And then you get that to choose that for free. So that's great. Okay, so a few other things that we need. We need a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock, which I'm folding in half and using for my card base. I'm going to do this one exactly the same, I think, although I might change up the sentiment. I quite like that other sentiment, but I do like how the good luck sits here, and I'm not sure that the other sentiment would fit so well. Let me just have a quick... No, I think it's a bit big. So we'll do exactly the same, and then you'll see how I've made this one. And then it uses some of this beautiful petal pink champagne ribbon, which is yummy. Okay, so you need a piece of Whisper White cardstock. You need a piece of petal pink cardstock, that's a bit grubby that side, which is going to be your base. And this base is cut 10 centimetres by 14.4 centimetres. And I then ran that through the stone embossing folder. So let me explain to you what I mean by run through an embossing folder. If you have a die cutting machine, you do need a die cutting or an embossing machine for this. You open the folder up, you put your piece of cardstock inside. You don't even need to worry this time about keeping it straight. There's no design to follow. You pop that inside, you fold it in half, you put your plates on. So for the big shot you would need your base platform and the 3D embossing plate, which you can get from Stampin Up, and the links below. And you just whiz that through your die cutting machine, zzz, all the way through, and then when it comes out the other side, rather than being plain, it looks like this. And that's what we mean by dry embossing. Okay, so that's a dry embossed piece of card, which is glorious, isn't it? And I don't know if you can see the texture on this, but it's so deep. Some of these pieces are embossed so much deeper than the others, and that gives you some fantastic texture. I think it looks like crazy paving from the 70s and 80s, but that's just me. Anyway, it's called stone. It's not called crazy paving. So if I call it crazy paving, I'm telling you a lie. But anyway, that's stone. So that's going on there. And then we need a piece of white cardstock, some pool party cut-offs, and a 1-inch strip of this paper, which is from the... I think it's the Cherry Blossom Speciality paper. And it's called Speciality because, if you can see that, it has this champagne foiling all over it. So we're going to use a bit of that, and we're going to use the stitched so sweetly dies. Yes, I'm getting the hang of this now. Stitched so sweetly dies, which have got these lovely new scalloped edged stitched not ovals. What are they? Rectangles. Yes. So you're going to stamp your lady on there and cut her out, or like me, if you've done it, here's one I did earlier, kind of jobby, you're going to end up with a piece that's cut out like that through your die cutting machine, and then we're going to just stamp the lady on here. And I've used Memento ink. You can use StazOn if you prefer. StazOn gives you probably just a slightly darker image, but I like Memento. I think it's fine. And then you'll just pop her down there and make sure she's there. Look at that, isn't that lovely? Just great. She's so pretty. Oh, don't put that away, Pip, you need that again. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to stamp her dress up to sort of her neckline here onto this speciality paper. Okay, and you need to hold it down a little bit because you need to get it on the foiling, and the foiling is the bit which is difficult to get that, which is why sometimes StazOn might be a better option. But to be honest, it's only a little bit that you're cutting out, and you can do most of it by eye. So that's the Memento done and the lady done. And then while that dries, because I don't want to put my fingers on it and smudge it over that foiling for a second. While that dries, we're going to do the embossing, the other kind of embossing. So this is what's known as heat embossing. And for that you need a special ink called Versamark, which again you can grab in my store. And, whoops, turn it around. We're going to just stamp on a piece of cardstock. Good luck, but we're going to stamp it twice, and you're going to say, Pip, you've stamped nothing, there's nothing there. But actually there is something there, it's just that this is a pigment ink which is sticky but clear, so you can't see it. Well, you can sort of see it. There's sort of a, I don't know if you can see that, sort of, there. But when you put the powder on it, and this is embossing powder, which is a special type of powder, it sticks to the Versamark, and then you can see that it's there, which is great, and everyone's like, oh, that's interesting, that's lovely. No, that's not done though, that's just the first step. Okay, put that away. This stuff does get everywhere, so just be aware that's why I use a tray, it's so much easier. Need a tray. And then I'm going to pull my heat gun out, and I'm going to put you on mute for a bit while I actually do my heat embossing. Okay, so hopefully you saw that changed from a powder to a metallic, almost plasticky kind of, I don't know, it just looks like it's foiled, but foiled in white in this case. And that's what heat embossing does. So we'll leave that there for a second. We're going to do, I did it twice because we're going to cut it out. And so I wanted to give us as much room as possible. So let's chop that there for a second. Right, so I'm going to take this good here and as far over to the L as I can, like that. That gives me a better size for the good. So we'll do that, and then we'll get rid of this luck. And then we're going to take this luck, so we're going to go as far as we can over towards the D. And that allows us to chop it in half and have a bit of space around it, or as much space as possible. I mean, you could put it down just as good luck, I mean there's space for it, but I quite like this idea of having a little bit more sort of work with it going on. And it doesn't matter if it's crooked, as it were, or at least not too badly anyway. This would be a great card for somebody you knew who had who's Chinese. I don't know, does the Japanese New Year start like the Chinese one in February? I don't know enough about this, I must learn more. But if you have somebody who's Chinese and obviously their New Year starts in February, this would be a good card to give them for the start of their new year. So we'll leave those there and try not to lose them. Meanwhile, we're going to come back to the girl who's been cut out and stamped, sorry, who's been stamped rather on this piece here. And you can roughly follow the line of the dress. So we're going to follow the line of the dress, and then it sort of kinks in at the elbow here, and then think that's the elbow. Back out again, round, and then we want to keep the neckline in, so we want to keep that little, the high collar that's very Mandarin. Actually, maybe this is Chinese, not Japanese. I've been going on about Japanese and it's Chinese, but I mean, they're very similar, I think, in their clothing styles. I won't say in anything else, because I don't want to offend anyone who's Japanese or Chinese, because you are very different cultures, I understand that. But you do both seem to like this gorgeous style of dressing. I don't blame you, it's lovely. Okay, there we go. So let's cut that down there. And now, hopefully, if we've cut it correctly, we can now paper piece that onto our lovely lady. And now she has a nice dress to wear. And the way I stick that down is I don't try and stick it on the dress, I just stick it on here because we know it fits this, because that's what we've cut out to be. And we'll go right down to the edge because we want the edges to stay, but just sort of casually. And then you can piece her straight on and know that you've got her well there. Look at that, that's great, isn't it? And then on this lady, I actually coloured in her hair. So I took my black right marker, something just dropped off, took my black right marker and just coloured this bit in here. Like so. There we go. She's looking pretty good. Now I've just got a slight smidge. I should have done this beforehand. We want to make sure that we've got all of the black off of the dress. And then we're going to just put on the good luck. Now, previously I put these flat. This time I'm going to raise them up and see what they look like with some mini dimensionals underneath. So we have, no, that's my normal dimensionals. Where's my mini dimensionals? Here we go. They will only take sort of like 1 or 2 each if you squish them in. Just. But you should be able to get 2 in there if you squish them in. There we go. 1. Obviously, if you don't want to do this, you can just put them flat onto your cardstock. That's also good. So this says good, so we're going to go with good up here, and I'm purposefully not trying to go straight because I haven't cut them straight, so there's no point in trying to go straight. They're not, it'll look odd if you try and do that. So good luck, like that. That raises them up quite a nice amount actually, it's good. And then we'll put the rest of the card together, and I've not gone all the way around the card with this. I've literally just taken a piece of ribbon that I'm going to chop off, make nice ends with. So nice ends together, chop, and then wrap it on the card. So we'll glue this down to the front with some, whoops, oh dear, that went off the side a little bit. That's unusual for me. Let's put that over there. I think it slipped in my hand. There we go. Make sure you've got the front. Just make sure that you don't squish that bit too hard and have it oozing out. Let's push it that way. There we go. I mean, you need quite a lot to get this embossing folder to sit down anyway because it's so deeply embossed, but not masses. Just hold it down and it'll stick nicely. So that's that. We'll pop a little bit of snail just sort of over the middle bit there, and then just lay your ribbon on that like so, and then we're going to go and dimensional that up. So we'll put, I'm sure dimensional that up is a term. It probably isn't. What did I do now with my large dimensionals? Oh, there they are. So 2-dimensional something. It should be a thing. It should be a verb or a whatever they call it. Adjective. God, I can't remember my basic English grammar. Dreadful. Right, there we go. We're going to put those on there. And it's quite a large piece of cardstock, so you need quite a few of these just to make sure you don't have any soggy middles when it goes through the post. Or when you just leave it in an envelope or something and then suddenly you find that you've put a book down on top of it and the whole thing's got squished. So you want to have enough to give it some strength behind it. This one, that one I put over a little bit. This one I'm going to go more central with and just see whether that makes a massive difference. Not really, but looks nice either way, I think. I like it either way. I quite like offset sometimes, even though I'm a little bit OCD myself. But sometimes offset can work well and look nice. So what do you think? 2 Lady Kimono Good Luck cards featuring the double embossing. Good luck there. It just gives that extra shine to it. You know, it just makes people look at it and want to touch it. It's got texture to it, which is lovely. And then with the shiny dresses as well, it's just beautiful. So there you go, double embossing as promised, for those of you who don't know how to do embossing, and for those of you who do know how to do embossing, I hope you just like the card design. And have a lovely week or day or whatever it is until I see you again. I have no idea when I'm going to be posting this video. I love doing that. I record them all up front and then pop them all out, and yeah, it could be any time. This could be a surprise. So have a lovely weekend or day or week or whatever it is, wherever you are. And if you've enjoyed this, let me know. Tell me, because it's nice to know whether you like the stuff that I do. And obviously you can subscribe, you can join, you can buy, you can get this set for free with a £90 qualifying order. So I hope that you will take advantage of that. It's only available till the end of March. In actual fact, while stocks last, so it could even go out quicker than that. So let me know, any questions, whatever, I'm here to help. And thanks ever so much for tuning in today to Pip from queenpipcards.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.